What up, everybody? This is your Cosmic Homegirl, and I'm doing a weekly forecast for all of us, a general forecast for all the signs, what the cosmic weather is for all of us for the week starting March 8th of 2020 and ending with March 15th, 2020. We are coming out of Mercury retrograde. Oh, hallelujah, right? Mercury is still in its shadow period for a couple of weeks, so don't jump for too much joy. I would say, at the end of March, we should start seeing things clearing up a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Mercury is in its shadow period, which means that things are still going to go awry, just right now before I started recording this, excuse me, one of my coworkers is like, oh, I killed my computer. I fried the computer. So, there's still technological issues. There's still miscommunications and stuff like that. Oh my God. And I don't mean to talk about work so much, but hey, I'm a sixth houser and the sixth house rules work. So whatever. But yeah. And then with the full moon in Virgo, which I'll talk about in a minute, a couple of my homies got fired from one of my jobs. And it's very hard for me to get along with people in the workplace, okay? Mars in the 6th usually means there's always conflict and I always have a target on my back. And people just give me the stank face all day. But a few people that I actually got along with who were Tauruses, they got let go, like 3 of them. 3 Tauruses. And I'm like, why you gotta let the homies go, though? You know what I mean? So and one of them, it was under a misunderstanding. So I'm hoping that with Mercury being in shadow, that they're going to... because they let that person go during the retrograde. So maybe during shadow, it's like things will be cleared up and they'll be hired back. Oh my God, the madness is real, you guys. So sorry, let me jump into this forecast. Before I do, don't forget that on my website, which is indigomoonastrology.com, I do have yearly forecasts for the signs. Okay, we are into the first. We are getting ready to finish up the first quarter of the year, but these yearly forecasts cover all the Mercury retrogrades, Saturn entering Aquarius, which actually happens this month in March, Mars through the signs, Venus through the signs, Venus retrograde, Mars retrograde. Those are both happening this year too, which is only once every couple of years. So if you want to know how all of that stuff affects you based on your sign, go on my website and order a 2020 horoscope on the horoscopes page. All right. And I am still, I'm not accepting any new clients at this time. For those who are curious about personal readings, I will be back on those. I'm not really sure when. Uranus is doing a number on me as a Taurus in my life. I have the stack of Taurus planets. So I really cannot give an exact time of anything ever. Okay. It's just the way that my life is going right now. Uranus is like lightning striking, and then that's what you go with. You know what I'm saying? So I will keep you guys posted and let you know when I am accepting new clients again. But until then, I have the weekly forecast for all of us. So let me dive in just 1 second. All right. Sorry about that, you guys. I'm still getting over this ucky respiratory whatever thing that I've had for like a month now. We've had planets hitting Neptune, coming in contact with Neptune, and Neptune can dissolve your vitality. It can weaken your immune system. It can bring about congestion because Neptune can rule, liquid. I mean, it rules the ocean, right? But it can rule like liquids, levels of liquids rising within your body. And that can mean like congestion and stuff. So, a lot of people have been going through it. And yes, I am aware of the freaking coronavirus. Okay. I still haven't quite looked into it astrologically myself, but every year we have planets hitting Neptune. It could be Mercury retrograde in Pisces with Neptune that brings it about. Maybe that might be one factor in it, but there's probably some other stuff that other astrologers have pointed out to why that virus has come up. So I'm not going to speak on it too much here, but I don't know what I have, but I don't think it's that. But it's been hanging around for a month and it's annoying. So I'm sorry if I'm an annoying, and if I I'll try to mute this as much as I can with, coughing and clearing my throat and stuff. But let's get to the forecast, you guys. Let's see. And if anybody wants to timestamp, the forecast starts at blah, blah, blah minutes, go ahead. Your homegirl's not going to be offended because I can talk a lot. Okay. All this Capricorn is hanging out in my 3rd house of talking. So I am just talking a lot. Okay. What's going on this week for all of us? Well, We have Venus in a conjunction with Uranus. Now, on the 8th is when this was exact. All right. Venus and Uranus. I think I talked about this last week a little bit. I don't really usually go back and listen, so you guys let me know. If I'm repeating myself, then whatevs. I'm sorry. But Venus, it rules relationships. It rules beauty, love, what you enjoy in life, fashion, how we look, everything that's pretty and, feels good, smells good, tastes good in this whole wide world. So when she is in contact with Uranus, listen, Venus and Taurus within herself, she likes to stay in her comfort zone, okay? She stays in her lane, her usual lane, does the same thing all the time. She may try new things, but she doesn't really F with a lot of new stuff or new people. She gets comfortable with certain things, and that's what she likes to stick with, to stay comfortable. Excuse me, but Uranus is a planet that makes us uncomfortable and itchy and feel like we're breaking out in hives. Like we just have this energy that's like, oh my God, I have to just break free and just do something. Like it can make you nervous. Uranus rules literal lightning, okay, like physical lightning and also electricity. So it's like whatever Uranus touches, it zaps. Right? It zaps and zaps and zaps and makes it uncomfortable till it's like, okay, I'll get up and move. I'll change something. I'll do something. I can't take this energy anymore. So when you combine these two, how do you think that makes people feel? For some people, it could be breaking free, liberating themselves from something that's Venus ruled, like a relationship, for example. Excuse me. Maybe some people did go through a breakup all of a sudden that just came about with Venus and Uranus together. Or some people could have suddenly gotten into a relationship. Some people could suddenly have an epiphany about love and a relationship as well. I think I told you guys a little story last week about my experience with Venus and Uranus heavy transits to one another. Well, guess what? Over the weekend, when Venus and Uranus were in a conjunction, there's someone that I had met randomly at a bar, and I hardly ever do this, y'all. Like I'm a Venus and Taurus myself. We don't F with strangers, but it was just random, whatever. When I met the guy, and he's from a different city, and then he popped up and was like, yo, I'm in your town. What's good? And I'm like, okay, well, I'm working long shifts the whole entire weekend, like long hours, 10-hour shift one day, 16-hour shift another day, the whole week. And he's like, you're working Friday, Saturday, and Sunday? I'm like, yes, I am. And he's like, oh, well, I'm in your town though. And I'm like, I'm sorry, you just popped up out of nowhere, which Venus and Uranus, someone just like lightning striking, boom, And I was like, I'm sorry, this isn't planned for me to see you. So I am going to continue being a Taurus and doing what was scheduled. And that is work. Okay. And this guy kept hitting me up. Are you sure you're not tired? Are you sure you're tired from work? Are you sure? I would like to see you in your work clothes, girl. And I'm like, yo, my G. No, I can't. Like, I'm sorry. And at one point I did consider maybe making a sacrifice, doing something a little different, because Venus and Uranus together makes you want to do something different, right? And Venus can rule relationships and love. So it's like, well, maybe I'll try this person out, give him a chance, whatever. That crossed my mind for a second. And then I said, hold up, wait a minute. History can repeat its motherfucking self, okay? Especially with me and my karmic life. Lord have mercy on it. So I was like, hold up, what's your birthday? So I got the dude's birthday, year, and everything. Look up his chart. Lo and behold, wouldn't you know, you guys, I'll tell more of this story on my karmic relationship thing, whenever I do it. All of my Taurus planets hit his south node. His north node is on my ascendant. His Jupiter is on my Lilith. Like, okay, I'm not going to go into the whole synastry, but pretty much he's another south node, past life, karmic okay. And I'm like, no, the last time there was a Venus and Uranus transit last year, I told you guys, lightning struck from the sky. Somebody randomly texted me and was like, yo, what's good? Hang out with me. And it ended up being someone I had a very turbulent past life with. And so their antics really hurt my heart and soul, like drained me so bad, So here's Venus and Uranus to get together again. And then guess what? this fool pops up. Hey, let's hang out. And he's so eager, just like the last one was. And I'm like, what's your birthday? And then we have a karmic past, some sort of past life. I didn't look too deeply into it because I was like, no, I shut that shit down, you guys. Because I'm like, no, you're not going to kill me too. All right. Just like the last one and the last one and the last one. Oh my God. So that goes to show that Venus and Uranus, I feel like Uranus is like a trickster, like Uranian energy. Hold on. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I feel like Uranus is like a mad scientist. I've said this time and time again. Like, he likes to experiment with humans and just throw things in our path and see how we react and laugh a kooky laugh, you know, like if we fall for something and then, ooh, let's see what happens. And then some freaking tower moment happens in our lives. And Uranus is like, yes, like waiting to watch all the drama just explode, you know? So I cut that off real fast. I was like, nope, I'm sorry. I can't see you. I'm working. Every day this fool texts me, are you sure you're busy? Yes, I'm busy. Oh my God. I talked to you for 5 minutes one time, my G. Like, I can imagine if I gave you a shot, like, oh my God, like how clingy oh my God, I can't. I was like, he's probably clingy because he wants to come back and kill me because maybe I did something to him in a past life. Okay, I can't with any more of these, yo. Like, I can't. So that's my Venus and Uranus story. Tell me, you guys, if any of you guys listening had any crazy Venus and Uranus stuff happen. Okay, like somebody pop up out of the blue, whether it's a past person, past life person, an ex, a new person that you met and you just had all these sparks flying. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me know. Let your homegirl know. Share with us. Spill the tea. Give us all the cheese, man, all the dirt. Like, let us know here. That way we can all learn together, right? So anyway, that's Venus and Uranus together. This energy continues to linger throughout the week. She will separate herself from Uranus, but continuing on this week, she's still, you know, in his vicinity. So some weird shit can still happen with love. And also, I worked at this job, right? And they had this strict dress code. And it was like, you can't wear facial piercings. You can't wear colored makeup, colored hair, colored this. And I'm like, yo, first of all, I stopped coloring my hair purple like a year ago. Or a year or two ago. Yeah, like a year ago or something, right? But I do wear colored eyeshadow. I do have facial piercings. I do wear this and that. And I was just like annoyed because Venus is your fashion, your expression of yourself through fashion, and your style, right? And Uranus is uniqueness and individuality. So with these two together, you do feel like, whatever, I do what I want. I wear what I want. You want to be your unique self with your appearance. So I was like highly annoyed, right? But I was like, yo, I better just make some money off of this job if they're going to be so strict with the dress code. So yeah, there could be, you don't want your freedom restricted when there's Venus and Uranus together. You just want to enjoy yourself and not worry about anyone stopping you, hindering you, or anything, right? This could have been some people trying a new style of their like hairstyle, wanting to get a random tattoo, a random piercing, you know, maybe shopping somewhere different, or, you know, it could have been something as simple as that, or trying a new food out of the blue. Like, you know what, I never tried this, you know, cultural dish before. Let me just try it. Or let me whip up a little something in the kitchen and add, you know, a few extra little ingredients that I've never tried before. So it could have been just so subtle as that. But if you guys have any tea to spill about any relationship stuff, hey, just let us know. Okay. All right. So also this week, we still have the sun in a conjunction with Neptune. So sun conjunct Neptune, this, oh my gosh. So ironically, Neptune and Pisces rule alcohol, right? And all weekend long, the events that I worked at, long hours, I was either bartending or one of them was at like a beer festival. So yeah, one of them, I was bartending in a private suite for a company. And one of the guys that was in the suite, he actually grabbed the bottle of liquor from me and poured his own. And I was in there with no security or anything. I'm this tiny little woman, you know, with all these men's in there. So there wasn't really much that I could do, but still, you know, be like, yo, and like snatch the bottle from him. Like, hey, don't do that again, you know. But he still did. People wanted to be a little bit more overboard, maybe with drinking and alcohol with the sun and Neptune together in Pisces. This is like super alcoholic energy, right? Excuse me. But isn't that crazy though, how astrology works in real life? I was serving alcohol or dealing with alcohol or people drinking heavily, drinking alcohol the whole weekend. So, those of you guys out there that like to drink or like to smoke or whatever, maybe you guys were like a little more indulgent under the heavy transit, which was more like late at night on the 7th into the 8th of March. Sun conjunct Neptune. Neptune is also what's unspoken but still being spoken, like telepathy, synchronicities that you see. And, the veil is very thin between the physical world and the spiritual realm. The physical realm and the spiritual realm. The unseen, is seen and heard and felt when we have a heavy Neptune transit. So the sun is like shining a light upon Neptunian things, bringing more Neptune energy to us. So, this weekend, I had some of those experiences too. And if any of you guys did, also please share with us. Neptune and Pisces are spirituality. So, all I'm going to say, I don't want to get too personal with this, but all I'm going to say is under this transit, I felt like, oh my God, go away. Okay. I was trying to just stay focused on what I have to do, working a lot. But I feel like I felt someone else's pain. I felt like someone else could have been like maybe thinking about me, right? And whenever I feel someone thinking about me that I'm really, really connected to, I'll start to see things a lot that have something to do with them. Maybe it's a particular brand or logo or something that they enjoy a lot, that they identify as being part of themselves, So during the Sun conjunct Neptune all weekend, I felt like I was thinking of this person and I felt like they were thinking of me too. And I kept seeing things to do with them everywhere. Even when I was trying not to, I was trying to block everything out. I kept seeing that. And I got like a surge of pain in my heart. Like, oh, like all of a sudden when I was like really busy working, focused. And I felt like this pain isn't mine. And Neptune and Pisces rule feeling the pain of others, like what's the word, like empathy, and you can absorb other people's pain if other people are around you and they are feeling some type of way, some emotions, you become a sponge to that, especially if you have Pisces placements in your chart very strong like I do, or if you have the Sun conjunct Neptune in your chart or something, for example. And the person that I'm talking about, that I think I may have felt some of their pain, and I felt them thinking of me and kept seeing them everywhere pretty much. Their Sun and Mercury are exact on my Neptune in our synastry. So that's like, we can feel each other whether we recognize it or not. And also, it was my dad's birthday, and Neptune can be a connection to the spirit realm, right? My dad has passed on, as a lot of you guys know. It's not even been 2 years yet. Or has it been? I think it has been 2 years. But it was his birthday, during this conjunction. And I was working, focused on his birthday. And then I noticed that when we were loading up at the end of the night, this truck that was parked right next to the work vehicles, they had my dad's name on the back of that truck, like on a sticker on the window, like right there, and it was parked right next to us on my dad's birthday. So I knew that was him showing his presence. So that's why I said the veil to the spirit world and the physical world is so thin when we have this Neptune stuff. So if you guys feel like someone who's on the other side, or someone that even who's still physically present here on earth that you're very, very connected to, if you feel like you've received messages regarding them, or that they've shown their presence even when they're not physically there, maybe you felt something from them, or some people could have circumstances like synchronicities to where you're thinking about someone and then they call you or they text you, or a commercial comes on your phone or TV or whatever that's like something to do with them or you and them. There's a lot of things like that that can happen under this type of conjunction. So over the past weekend, it was super strong, you guys. Like, it was exact, but it still it fades out, and it fades out during the week, but it's still close to Neptune, So if you guys had any of those type of things happen with the sun conjunct Neptune, then please share with all of us. Let us know, because this human experience that we have as souls is like, it's a trip, man. It's so trippy. And I'm a very grounded, earthy, practical, cynical, skeptical person, but when things are proven to me over and over again and they're clear as day, I will connect to that spiritual side and be like, yo, this shit is all the way real, So it's amazing, right? So if you guys have any stories to share, please share them. Because these transits, any transits of inner planets, meaning the ones that are closest to the earth, like the sun and Venus, in conjunction very tightly with any outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, even Pluto, those ones can rule like out of this world phenomenons happening because they're the furthest away from us. So when the ones that are closest to us come in conjunction with the ones furthest away, that's when there's like being these crazy miracles and epiphanies and synchronicities and stuff happen a lot. And those things always just freaking amaze me. I'm just like, yo, like blown away still every time, even as a spiritual person. So yeah, that's what was cracking, you guys. Okay, so this is the 8th, right? So on the 9th, and because of my schedule, I'm sorry, you guys, I am recording this after the 9th, but we did have a full moon in Virgo on the 9th. That means that the sun is in Pisces with Neptune and the moon was in Virgo, opposing all of that, right? So the moon was opposing Neptune. The sun was with Neptune. So Neptune was still involved in this full moon. So I was saying, I posted something in my Instagram stories, magic, which is Pisces and Neptune, versus logic, which is Virgo. Earthy energy is very logical and very like, well, I only believe what's in front of me. What has been manifested in front of me physically is what I believe in, because I can touch it, I can see it, I can experiment with it like right in front of me. It's a physical object. You cannot deny a physical object being in front of you. But what is unseen is Pisces, which you can deny what is unseen, because some people's perception and vision doesn't allow them to tune into what is unseen and accept it as being real, because it's not tangible. You know what I'm saying? So this opposition of the moon in Virgo and the sun in Pisces and Neptune in Pisces could have brought some of that about for some people. There could have been spiritual awakenings, like realizing that, hey, I've been a little too much on this practical, logical side, and not so much on the spiritual. Spiritual phenomenons are real, and we need them in our lives. We need to not just worry about logic. It's like logic versus emotion too. So maybe some people, especially because Mercury also went direct on the 9th in Aquarius, which is a very logical sign. Maybe a lot of people were like looking back at Mercury retrograde in Pisces, a very emotional sign, illogical, at their emotional reactions to things during that period. And with this full moon also realizing, you know what, I was getting way too like my chonies in a bunch. You know what I'm saying? My draws were just up my butt crack, like way too much over this situation. And I didn't have to freak out like that, all emotional. I could have just taken a more logical approach to things. And now I'm seeing it and I'm like, yo, that was so petty and stupid. Like, why did I make such a big deal and cry over this or make a scene or whatever? Let's just move forward. That's Mercury now moving forward here in Aquarius. Along with this full moon, there could have been a lot of realizations like that for people. This is also work-life balance. Your life It does have something to do with Virgo too, but Virgo is work and like everyday life, your chores, your errands, duties, responsibilities. When you get up in the morning, your routines, you gotta get up, take a shower, brush your grill, like, hop into traffic, go to work, like every day after day, right? But do you take the time for yourself to just relax, chill, release it all, not worry about schedules, routines? Oh my God, I forgot this step in my routine and therefore it's going to throw everything off and, or, this email didn't get sent to the right person at work, or I hit send, I swear I did, and it's still in my outbox. Oh my God, the world is freaking exploding. Like, Pisces is not worrying about any of that BS. Okay, it's like floating in your own zone on your own time, in your mind, maybe even escaping all of that through, some people through substances, I'm just saying, or some people through just their minds, like letting their minds wander and say, you know what, I'm just going to ignore everything. F the time, F schedules. Like, I don't even care right now. That's Pisces energy. So we all need that time, regardless of what our lives are like, or else we'll always be so like freaking wired and anxiety ridden and anxiety driven. So that's what this full moon could have brought about for some people, like a realization of, also, how can I make things in my schedule, my daily routine, or in my work that I do run more smoothly and efficiently so that I am more balanced? Maybe changing things around with your schedule so that you can get your work done earlier and faster and then have more time to yourself, or get all the practical, boring duty stuff done so that you can get to something that's like creative and more enjoyable within your work. So, or like, hey, let me, change things around so that I can have more vacation time. Pisces is like vacationing also. So yeah, it's balancing all of that stuff out. This full moon in Virgo could have brought about definitely some epiphanies happening with this full moon, with Neptune in the mix, and then Venus and Uranus, like lightning striking, because Uranus is also insight into things, like those light bulb moments, because like I said, it rules electricity, lightning, so on. So light bulb moments, like, aha, you know what, this is blah blah blah, like realizations could have happened about love or about your finances, money, which is Venus too, with this conjunction. And then this too with the full moon, like I'm telling you, there have probably been a lot of wake-up calls with people. If you guys had a wake-up call about anything with this full moon, please share. I know I personally did. I'm not going to share all of them because they're like mad personal, but yes, lots of wake-up calls, epiphanies have been going on. So hopefully the full moon brought you guys something good. Like I said, oh my God, at my main job, both of my bosses are Virgos. So Virgos were Virgoing hardcore under the Virgo full moon and just chopping heads, man. Just, like, oh, you're not doing your job. Okay, bye. You're fired. So like that was going on. And we were all like just kind of ducking with our eyes all Googled out, like, oh my God, am I next? So yeah, that was definitely happening. But anyway, moving along. Okay, so the full moon, Mercury's now direct, but like I said, shadow period, things are still a little shaky. Give it to, 23rd, 24th, like the last couple weeks of the month for everything that's Mercury ruled, which is our communications, whether it's verbal, electronic, written, or whatever, your mail, ordering things in the mail, emails, DMs, all of that stuff. The operation of small devices, meaning your phones, your tablets, your watches, all this stuff that you use to communicate with people, and also computers, laptops and desktop too. Like I said, my homegirl here at my main job said that she just destroyed her computer. Mercury just went direct. So do not jump for joy, you guys, and think, oh, now it's direct, everything is just gonna be perfect and back to normal. No, okay, we have a few weeks. All right, so excuse me, but I am glad for the more logical thinking. We're going to be backtracking over where Mercury was March 2nd and 3rd, or was it February? no, February 2nd and 3rd, where Mercury was during that time period, February 2nd and 3rd, and then a little bit after that, right? Because we have Mercury going direct at 28 degrees Aquarius. So it's going back over between 28 degrees of Aquarius and 12 degrees of Pisces. So we are backtracking over February 2nd through March 16th or February 16th, like what was going on during that time. Were there any misunderstandings, miscommunications? You know, you're going to be looking at them from a different perspective. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. Actually, there's a lot of shit that needs to be cleaned up, cleared up. Some business I was trying to handle during Mercury retrograde that's very practical during that time, and now I need to go back and make sure, okay, hold up, now what was this again, you know? So you guys may experience some of that too. Okay, so the moon is going to be in Libra. The moon is in Libra from March 10th through March 12th. The rest of the week, you guys, you know, like I said, this is still lingering. Sun conjunct Neptune, Venus conjunct Uranus. So all that whole big old spiel that I gave you guys, it still continues throughout the week. The rest of the week is pretty chill. Just the moon phases, you know, they shift and change. Moon in Libra from the 10th to the 12th. So moon is our moods, our emotions, our feelings, how we're emotionally reacting to things. So people are in the mood for partnership. It's a good moon phase for getting along better with other people and being willing to compromise and work things out. So if you were just supercharged during the full moon in Virgo and chopping heads, you know, like some people I know, maybe now that it's in Libra, it's like, hold up, wait a second. Let's try to see if this was fair, if that was a fair decision that we made. So fairness is moon in Libra. You could be really concerned with that. You could be all up in the mirror though, because she is ruled by Venus. Okay, Libra is. And moon in Libra days are like very vain, you know, always checking yourself, making sure that the wig is intact and that you don't have one eyelash falling off, and you know, like making sure that everything is straight. There's nothing stuck in your grill. You know what I'm saying? That you're always just like, hey, just ready to smile at people and look good. Okay, that's Libra, moon and Libra energy. It's also about relationships and partnership. So some people may feel more in the mood like they don't want to do things by themselves. They would rather have somebody like partnered with them or boot up with somebody. You know, these are it's definitely a boot up moon transit, moon phase, right? Okay, so that's the moon in Libra. Now on the 11th though, it could be a little bit difficult, a difficult day emotionally, because the moon is in Libra, which is very like, hey, let's all just get along, everybody. But she is making some harsh aspects to Mars, to Jupiter, to Pluto, and to Saturn, like super harsh, you guys. So people's moods and attitudes may be a little bit more like, you know, on the 11th, and like less willing to compromise and maybe more selfish with like, oh, that's not fair to me. Instead of fairness for all, it's like, well, you know, it's a little bit of more like harshness, tension. It's hard to find a middle ground with others because of these aspects. That's why they're in red. It's like, you know, like red alert. This is harsh energy, right? So that's the moon in Libra. And then on the 12th, we get to have a lovely moon in Scorpio. Hello. Okay. So yeah, where I'm at in the US, it'll be like super mad early in the morning, but the moon is in Scorpio starting on the 12th, from the 12th through the 14th. And of course, you know, our emotions are a little more brooding and just less forgiving and willing to compromise, and we may go more within and think about things from a perspective of, you know, like paranoia and not always trusting people. Like, what's your motive? And being more investigative when the moon is in Scorpio. And the moon, let's see, when she's in Scorpio, she is opposing Uranus and she is opposing Venus. So there could be maybe some, you know, head versus heart decisions that are made on this day that are a little difficult, but and like maybe it's a little bit erratic, like nervy or whatever. Nervousness that turns into like thinking the worst, that we can go through a little bit on the 12th, but it's not too bad. And Moon and Scorpio days are ones where you might want to just stay within. The moon's in Scorpio pretty much the whole weekend. Yeah, actually almost the whole weekend. She goes into Sag on the 14th, but for like Thursday, Friday, and part of Saturday, the moon is in Scorpio. And so some people may just want to like stay in, not really get out, turn up, be too wild or anything like that. Just, I don't know, stay in deep thought and introspection instead. So yeah, Moon and Scorpio days are good for intimacy as well. That's a boot up moon too, to where you're just like, if you have somebody special, you just want to be with them, like whoever you trust the most. You just want to be with that person and not out there hoeing it and throwing it. Especially with Venus and Taurus. Venus and Taurus doesn't play that shit. She doesn't hoe it and throw it. She's more like, do I know you, fool? Like, don't touch me if I don't know you. If I'm not comfortable with you yet, okay, just keep your hands off of me. So yeah, but once we get to the 14th and the moon moves into Sagittarius, that's a Saturday. Yeah, so Saturday night's a different story though. Okay, Saturday's a different story. It's under a Sag moon, so maybe people might feel like hoeing it and throwing it on that day. And that Knight of Wands energy, just like, yeah, where's my next challenge out there? Like, who's my next victim? Ha ha ha. Let me go get him and have some fun and then skip off. So yeah, that's Moon and Sag energy. But also Moon and Sag energy is about partying, getting, going out and having a good time, just letting loose, not worried about anything or anyone, not worried about consequences, not worried about the next day or even the next hour. You just jump in and just do wild shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's Moon and Sagittarius days. Moon and Sagittarius days are also good for being like a motivational speaker type of person. If anybody's down and out, Sag energy doesn't like Debbie Downers, people that are draining of the fun, fun snatchers. It makes me think of on that show, the Braxtons, like Toni Braxton and the Braxton family or whatever. Her sister Trina is a Sagittarius, and she used to call her husband Gabe, I think he was a Capricorn or a Scorpio, I don't know, he had a lot of serious energy. She called him the fun snatcher. So a Sag called someone with heavier energy the fun snatcher. It makes a lot of sense. And she, as a Sag, was like, I'm trisexual, I'll try anything. That is totally Sagittarian right there too. So under this moon, hey, you know what, maybe that's what people might be wanting to do, let loose. We still have the sun with Neptune, which rules alcohol and escapism, so some people may be wilding a little bit. So during this moon phase over the weekend, Saturday maybe a little bit more crazy than Friday. Friday the 13th, a Scorpio moon. Oh shit, I forgot about that. It's Friday the 13th and it's a Scorpio moon. So people may be like moody and seeing who's lurking around corners, or who knows, maybe lurking around corners being creepers themselves. Oh my God, knock on some wood, because creepers love me and I just, oh my God, I need to hide. But anyway, so moving along, moon and Sag is like eat, drink, and be merry, and don't give an F about consequences. No worries, it's that type of an energy. So have a little fun, loosen up a little bit more. The full moon phase is like fading out, and it's time to just kind of exhale, and the heavy Mercury retrograde stuff is being fixed and being let go of. So yeah, so the next day excuse me, we end with the 15th, and the moon is still in Sagittarius. We still have the sun and Neptune in conjunction with one another. It's kind of fading a little bit, but it's still there. Venus and Uranus, same thing. So people may be in the mood to like try new things, yada yada yada, whatever. Okay, that's all I really have to say about this week. I said a lot. So the moon is in Sag until the 16th, which is Monday. So I'll cover more of that next week. But thank you guys for listening. If you listen to all of my jibber jabber and nonsense, hope it made sense to you guys. Hope it helped to understand the energies of the week. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. I do post astrological stuff and memes and jokes that have to do with astrology too, on my Instagram in the stories. I do have a horoscopes highlight tab on my Instagram, so I try to keep up with the current energies and give my take on them as well, with that too. So yeah, I will be back next week. And what else was I gonna say? One last thing I was gonna point out is I did notice in the news that there are some music festivals and huge events that are gatherings of masses of people being canceled. Ones that are supposed to happen, maybe not right now, but later. Okay. And if you notice, Saturn is inching out of Capricorn and going to move into Aquarius actually within the next couple of weeks. And Saturn is restriction and saying no, right? No, you can't, putting up blocks, and nah, you can't pass, you can't come through here. That's Saturn in the sign of Aquarius. Aquarius rules what? The gathering of the masses. So even though it has not yet made the switch, look at what's going on already. Coachella. Is Coachella going on when Saturn is in Aquarius? Let's see. Yeah, Coachella was supposed to go on in April, but Saturn and Aquarius canceled that real quick, you know. I know it's because of the coronavirus, but it's as a result. It goes along with the astrological transits too. Okay, South by Southwest is another huge event here in the States, in the US. That's a music festival gathering people every year, and that was canceled. There is a big car show, the Dub Show, that was canceled I think in Texas. And yeah, so you know, Saturn in Aquarius is already doing some things, and it sucks, you guys, because yeah, hopefully there's not even more and more that keep getting canceled, but that's kind of what's going on right now. So that is Saturn Aquarius putting restrictions and saying no to gatherings of masses of people who come together for a common cause, common interest, or whatever. So it's already taken effect, you guys. I'll probably talk more about it later. But anyway, enough of my rambling and jibber jabber with all my third house stellium popping off. I will see you guys later. Have a good week. Peace.